Hi, welcome to this first actual episode of the series I was planning on doing. If you've missed the previous introduction video and you wish to see it, it will be down below in the description box. And here I thought that obviously it might be more relevant to be make a voiceover of the pieces and be able to actually show you the pieces that I like, and also be able to perhaps make you discover new jewelry designers. So that was the goal of this series. I hope that it will be interesting to watch. And so here we go. I must stress the issue that I'm not an expert, and this is by no means a wide variety. There's so many designers out there that I had to pick a few and to stay simple with something that was pleasant to watch and not go over the board with too many designers. That's why I will actually do a second episode on the other sort of contemporary designers. Yeah, I will butcher some names, by the way, so I'd rather say it right now. And it is not the way I have put and kind of classified the designers is by alphabetical order, not by preferences. It was just easier for me to go that way. So enough said, now let's get into it. So the first house, maison, we say in French, maison de joaillerie, is a an Italian one. It was founded in 1919 in Milan, in Italy, and it's Buccellati. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correct, but yeah, and it's what I love with Buccellati is that it is very something that was that somehow has very statement pieces that you can still find nowadays. For instance, the middle piece, which is a bracelet made out of I believe gold and diamonds. This sort of type of design is something that most that newer houses of jewelry and everywhere, it's something that has become pretty well known to the point that now it is being copied. So I'm not going to go in there on is it bad or good that artists and big houses get copied or not. Obviously, I'm not in favor of fake, but I mean, if it's an inspiration, it's perhaps because there was something to the design that made other perhaps brands make things that are more affordable. But I must admit that being in the jewelry kind of business and seeing quite a bit of jewelry designs, the middle piece is something that you can find everywhere now, even to like lowest prices with Indian retailers and stuff like this. So it is a house that is still there and that has managed to be able to consistently renew itself by making one-of-a-kind designs. And I really feel that it has to be put in my list because Buccellati is really one of a kind. The second one that is also one of a kind is David Webb. So he was in New York, or at least his house, his brand was established in New York. He passed away a long time ago, quite frankly. He was born in 1925 and died in 1975. So this is quite, he was... well, the brand is quite old now and well established. And what I love with David Webb is the variety and the creativity in every piece. And as you can see on the right, there is this hand with this bracelet. This became kind of a statement piece too. And most of the promotion back in the days in the magazines, the photographs, the photo shoots that he made, I believe I saw that it was really that some newer campaigns like 2 or 3 years ago were heavily inspired by him, and by the way the promotion of his jewel were made back in the days. There's really a kind of what looks now vintage and kind of 70s-ish to some ad campaigns that we see with jewelry brands, like high-end jewelry brands. And I feel that most of it comes from his photography and how he was being able to really make his brand and his name renowned by also being able to make his jewelry be worn on famous people back in the day. So really one of a kind pieces. A good. He was also, I guess, a good businessman, and that's what I like about David Webb. The next one is Faberge. Faberge, so for those who know a little bit about history, he was from Russia. He was so silversmith, even a goldsmith, and he was born in 1846 and died in 1920, and he was really well known, and he got a really mondial recognition because he was the one who started to craft the famous eggs for the Tsar and his family, the royal family, and in Russia back at the day before the Tsar got murdered. And so I heard that a couple of years back a billionaire bought all the eggs, so that I was really kind of blown away. I was like, geez, the eggs are absolutely one of a kind. It's to the point where you can there's a savoir-faire that has been kept by the Faberge house that is really unbelievable. And I don't know if they still craft eggs on demand for customers or if it's not made at all, but as you can see on the right, they still make tributes to eggs. And every year we have things that come out because this is the kind of blueprint of the house, the eggs. I chose to pick a ring though that has been coming out and remade a couple of years in a row, and I feel that this is what the brand now tends to go for, and it's the paved micro-setted, fully paved with diamonds or precious stones, and I just find it lovely. The work is remarkable, and Faberge is really a house I look up to because they have a savoir-faire, a real history, and they're still there after all this time. Another Russian brand, so Jewelry Theater. I thought it was British, actually not at all. It's from Moscow. It was founded by Maxim Voznesensky. The brand was founded in 1988, so it's quite recent compared to old houses. And what I love straight away when I came across this is first of all, there's a lot of tribute to nature, forms in nature, animals, things like this, and the craftsmanship is absolutely unbelievable. On the left you have a brooch, the two other are rings, and I wanted to pick especially the ring on the top at the right side because as you can see, the bottom of the ring is flat, so you can put it on a table or anywhere and it will stand still, and it becomes to the point where it becomes wearable art, and it's really like mini sculptures, and really it's pieces of art that you don't automatically necessarily have to wear. You can exhibit it, and it will just be very a curious thing to look at and to appreciate as a jewelry lover, So I really like the concept. I like what they do. They're able to always come with new things. Of course, the craftsmanship is unbelievable, and they really have designs that are really, really one of a kind. By the same token, this time we're going to France, Paris, Lydia Cote. I don't know much. I haven't checked, to be quite frank. I know that she was, I think, working in the fashion industry, and she decided to go for jewelry making, and her kind of motto, because she has a shop in Paris and she also has a website, and she is an advocate to be able to give a second life to old vintage jewels. So she creates one-of-a-kind pieces, and she also likes to give a twist to old pieces, vintage things, to really give them a second life, like she says. And what I love with Lydia Cote is how unbelievably extravagant the pieces are. She's more into rings and bracelets, among other things, but this is just a few rings I found that I just thought were amazing. And she has this way to make things that it looks so out there that you might think that it's like fantasy, you know, like bling bling jewels, but actually those are real stones and those are real metal, precious metals. But she makes it in a way that it's very colorful, always very new, very different, and at the same time really statement pieces that obviously not everyone would like, because I could see how you can find it quite bling bling, but it's really, I find it one of a kind and I love it. Next one of my favorites of favorites is Sevan Bichachi. So Sevan Bichachi is from Turkey. He has Armenian ancestry, and he really was taught. It's a family thing. It's something that has been really transmitted over generations. And he really has a savoir-faire that is quite still, that he kept secret. I believe there must be patterns, you know, and I think, I don't know how you say it in English, but most of the, when it comes to really high jewelry, you can put some sort of legal thing to, like a brevet. I don't know how you say brevet in English. You can really go to the law to protect the kind of innovations that you are making in whatever domain you're in. But as we're coming to jewelry making, he has really fabrication secrets that nobody knows, and especially to carve into stones. This is kind of his specialty. As you can see on the right, the rings, he carves architectures, and he makes a lot of homage to the Byzantine kind of architecture and art and inspiration culture, and it's really mind-blowing. He won, you can see on the left, the octopus is a ring that is articulated, and he won a prize a couple of years ago for this. And in the middle you have a massive bracelet that is setted with diamonds and other precious stones, and he's really a master at his craft, and he's really renowned and praised in the world of jewelry making and people that enjoy good craftsmanship, like I would say even excellent craftsmanship. And honestly, if I could, I would have at least one Sevan Bichachi ring, because it's literally, he's one of my favorite designers. The next one, he is French. It's Philippe Tournier, still alive. I don't know when. I didn't check when he founded. He established his brand. But what I like with Philippe Tournier is, once again, originality. His blueprint, what he started to do, and he just kept on doing that, is to be able to make tributes to, again, I like architecture too, and there's a big correlation, a big link between architecture and what he does, because he makes replicas of cities into, in essence, in a nutshell, it's a city, the spirit of a city embodied in a ring. So it's really one of a kind. Nobody does it like him. People try to copy, but they just can't, you know. It's just, he has the savoir-faire, and he came with the idea, and I really love those jewelry, because those are little pieces of art, you know. I know that the house is still running, and it's a family thing. I think his son or something is taking on the house, and they still produce one of a kind jewels. The next one is also one of my favorites, because Verdura was founded in 1939 by the Duke Fulco di Verdura, Fulco Santo Stefano della Cerda. So there's a big story, because he started working for houses, big haute joaillerie houses in Paris, and then came the war, and he decided to move to America, and I think he established himself in New York, and he kept working in New York till the end. So I guess that Verdura is now American owned. I'm not sure about that, but what I love with this man is the versatility of his work and his creativity, because you can see on the bottom, and the cactus those are brooches, and on the top left is a magnificent jade bracelet with gold. And one of the most well-known, renowned pieces is the one on the bottom in the middle, with the brooch with so many stones. And this type of cross is a very, I don't remember from what order, like Ordem something, it's something quite famous. This is the kind of thing that made them really renowned, this idea of combining lots of different stones and making very colorful jewels and designs. And what I love with him is the variety of things he made and how he was able to juggle through time and be able to really come up with things that are still like up to date. So I just like the audacity that he had in making jewels. And the last one, last but not least, one of my faves is, it's the brand, it's the house Dior Joaillerie, but Dior Joaillerie would be nothing with Victoire de Castellane. So she's the spirit of the house. She's been working for Dior Joaillerie for over 20 years. So Victoire de Castellane is French. She started working with Chanel when they started accessorizing and jewelry lines, and then she was offered by Dior to take up the joaillerie, so the fine jewelry line, and she accepted it. And she started in 1998, and she's still working for them, I believe. And I love her because she's able to feel. She has this kind of gift that some fashion designers, other jewelry designers have, to really know what is the trend, what is coming. She can sense the vibe, and she comes up with really unique designs. And for instance, for those that are a bit in jewelry making or that just like read magazines, she launched, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, the rose collection with the word oui, which means yes, for engagement rings. And it just, everything she does kind of hits it, and she's right on spot, and it works and it sells. And she has really this very eclectic sources of inspiration that makes her always be able to renew the house and the designs. And there's always new stuff coming up, and especially you can see in the middle, the ring, it's a skull ring, and this was also a big kind of statement pieces she did a couple of years back that I absolutely love. And so Dior Joaillerie is, for me, Victoire de Castellane, and she makes really one-of-a-kind things that are, obviously the pieces I choose are not things that everybody could wear, but she's capable to make things approachable for people that are not too daring, and at the same time that wants something unique. So that's how she's also very good at finding what will work. And that's it. That's it for this first episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll be back next week probably for the last part, which we'll talk where we will talk about the independent jewelers, the independent contemporary designers. So I will leave you there. Have a great day, and see you soon.